how did my mom make the program fun for me, right? What's interesting is that it was almost an accident, right? Because the day only has 24 hours. It only has maybe 12 really useful hours in it. So that's a finite amount of time. So in trying to crunch things together, right? She found the need to blend the intellectual program with the physical program, and even sometimes the intellectual program with the physiological program, right? To the point that I would be reading a book, doing some breathing patterning exercise, right? Or something to that effect. Or I would be seeing bits during that. But the really, really fun stuff, right, came when the intellectual blended with the physical, right? One of my fondest memories as a kid, and it might have been a driver for me to even get interested in sports physiology or whatever. I really wouldn't doubt it if that was the case. Is one of my fondest memories as a child when we were doing the creeping program, right? So we were creeping along colored carpets from our living room to the bedrooms and whatnot, and all these places represented a different organ in the body, right? So I would be creeping along a red carpet symbolizing an artery, and I'd be creeping back along a blue carpet symbolizing a vein, right? So to and from the heart, right? And the meat of it was that I was learning about the heart and about the circulatory system while doing my physical program. And not only was I learning about it, but now it's in my bones. I can't forget about it because I moved through it. So, and that was really, really fun. That was far more fun than even what a bit could have done for me, or 10,000 bits could have done for me. And I think it was also a lot more meaningful, to me in that way. A big thing that I found is that there's very few people who have very successfully gone from one world to the other, who have successfully been a brain-injured child, even severely, or to the eyes of the world, severely brain-injured with severe impairments, and to have all the physical and intellectual opportunities available to them, right? And first of all, what I would say is it's worth it. It might be the most difficult thing anyone has ever, or they would ever do. It might be the most difficult thing they would ever do. But it's also very fun. For the family, it's a very unifying experience. But as I said in that example of the heart and crawling through the heart and circulatory system, it is very, very, very fun. Right? So, and again, I have to reiterate this 1,000 times, it really is worth it, It's often scary thinking about how it would have been like, or all the opportunities I wouldn't have had, right? This is, in a big way, people say like, oh, well, I'm the painter, I'm the scholar, I'm the linguist, whatever. Well, in a big way, and this is something that I think about when I go to sleep and that I wake up. I'm not making it up right now. In a big way, I feel like what I am is the opportunities that have been given by this program, right? That in a different world, I might not have had the option of having all the options, but really that I can look in any direction and go anywhere of my own volition. I might not have had that. And that is the single most powerful thing, right? That I think it's worth 10,000 hours of work, right? I mean, particularly because of my story, I really want to be ready from day zero, right? It's what I think it's very useful just having a few months for this to marinate and for us to look over the notes in a cursory way without the pressure, and then be building the bits. My fiance and I talked about it, that just the act of building bits and the act of preparing ourselves mentally for this, to really say, like, we're going to find a way to be there for our child or kids, even financially, in terms of our time, because, we're ready to make the sacrifice, but we're both career people, and, in this world we need money, and just having the time to transition into that, to strategize, for like our game plan, like our broad life game plan on how to implement this. Just having that chance for that to sink in is really, really useful to us. Like I said, this was really a life-making experience. I know that the usual term is life-changing, but that's not the case here, and I think that's what makes it so significant, right? And I think the best thing about this, not just the opportunities and everything, but it's also all the habits, right? All the habits that I developed while learning, and all the skills that I developed while learning, and the proclivities, right? Just my intuitions about how to do things, in the world, and what I like and what I dislike and what I turn to and what I don't turn to. That's why I ended up back here, right? Because of all these skills that were given to me in my childhood and all these opportunities, now I'm back here, and it's what I want to reproduce, right? So this is, I think, like, really, I guess, to me, the important part. Not just that my kids would get to do this, but that my mom's grandkids would, right? And so on and so on. So, yeah, I mean, you guys really have my vote. Like, I don't know how to say it more strongly. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ivan.
For sure.
I really appreciate it.